President. Growing up, I spent many weekends at agricultural shows, big and small ones across the Central West and beyond. I remember competing in the horse events, walking through the sideshow alley, walking through the pavilions and catching up with friends and family. They were weekends that stick in your mind. But to go down to the Sydney Royal, that was something next level altogether. That was the big one. A trip to the Sydney Royal Easter Show was a real treat. And to be able to compete and ride in the Grand Parade down there was extra special. It really made you feel like you were part of something much larger than yourself. And to be able to go down again to the show this year was extra special for me because my boys are now at that age where they too can enjoy the Sydney Royal Easter Show. It was a little bit different going down to the show with two boys in tow. I spent a little bit more time in Sideshow Alley than I would have normally done, but what a joy it was. You know, one of my boys had their first experience on the roller coaster. The other is still talking about the flying elephant rides. There really is something for everyone out at the Royal Easter Show, young and old, city and country. I spent nearly 2 days out there and I know I didn't see it all. That's how big of an event it has become. To give you a sense of the scale out there was 13,000 animals on display, representing 400 different breeds. Nearly 15,000 ribbons were awarded across 10,000 competitive events. It's not just big, it's vast. It's like a whole another city for a couple of days. And of course there's the food, always a crowd favourite. This year 30 tonnes of twisty potatoes were eaten, 20,000 plates of fresh prawns, and almost 40,000 scones served up by the delightful members of the Country Women's Association. But of course, none of this happens without the people behind the scenes, the more than 3,000 volunteers that give their time and energy to help the show run smoothly. I want to thank every one of them, and I'm sure every person that walked through the gate shares that gratitude. But what makes the Sydney Royal truly special is the ability to connect people, especially city dwellers, with rural life. It becomes a virtual bridge over that knowledge gap that seems to be unfortunately growing. It's one thing to read about agriculture, it's another to stand in front of a prize bull, or to chat with a wool grower, or watch a Kelpie guide sheep across an arena. Visitors can walk through the animal pavilion and get up close with cows, pigs, chooks, goats, horses. You can watch shearing demonstrations, working dog trials, or even visit a fully operational dairy. These aren't just displays, they're living classrooms. We often hear people say that kids today don't really understand where food comes from, that milk comes from cows, not from cartons, and that veggies grow in the soil, not on supermarket shelves. Where the Sydney Royal Show is helping to change that. Behind every piece of produce is a story of hard work, care and dedication. Whether it's a pumpkin grower, a fine wool producer or a cattle breeder, the pride and passion and their care in their produce is evident when talking to them, and the show gives that opportunity to more and more people. The district exhibits, of course, a highlight again this year in the incredible 3D display from local produce, and volunteers again standing out the front talking about their produce, talking about their areas and their love for the land. Entertainment also plays a huge part, from the thrilling camp draft events that are on every evening to the battle in the saddle where an Australian stockman went head to head with an American cowboy. My kids were spellbound by the bison run, and just the general horsemanship that was on display was very impressive. Then there was, of course, the Ag Discovery Pavilion, showcasing the latest in ag tech and innovation. Groups like Cotton Australia were there, educating and inspiring the next generation. But if I had to pick one moment that truly captured the spirit of the show, it came as I sat there as the moon was rising up over the stadium. A mob of 300 ewes moved silently across the main arena, guided by 2 Kelpies, a stockman and a pack horse. Then joining them was another woman on horseback with a flowing red dress, entered and delivered a stirring rendition of We Are Australian. This was then intertwined with some lines from Clancy of The Overflow. And he sees the vision splendid of the sunlit plains extended, and at night the wondrous glory of the everlasting stars. It was powerful and it was poetic, and it reminded us all of what the Royal Easter Show is really about. Celebrating our country, our culture, and the extraordinary people who make it all possible. And I thank the Royal Agricultural Society for once again turning on an amazing and truly significant Royal Easter Show.